Who remembers the BJ and Bill show all those years ago on WOLZ? Well, many have said they missed the show, and guess what? They're back. Welcome to the BJ and Bill podcast.
Welcome to BJ and Bill, the podcast, a part of the Podcast Playground Network. Please give us a 5-star review, subscribe on your favorite podcast platform, wherever that may be. Of course, you can follow us on Facebook, BJ and Bill, the podcast, as we welcome you to episode 102.
102. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good for an old guy who's like worn out from walking yesterday.
I played some pickleball last night, and it wasn't that it was hot, but it was so humid that I just came home. I think everything I had was just soaked in sweat. It was, that's a great visual, but yeah, no, it was. So where were you walking around there, old man?
SeaWorld.
We know that. Wait a minute. What happened? We know you're a Disney guy. Wait. The daughter had SeaWorld connections, didn't she?
Yeah. Her new beau, which I think it's pretty serious. I'll just call him her beau now.
Okay.
They've been going out enough. So
yeah.
It's her beau. He's like one of the, I guess you would probably get along with this gentleman quite well. He's one of the higher ups in the IT department
at SeaWorld. How cool is that?
Yeah. So he doesn't just work for SeaWorld. He works for SeaWorld corporate, which means like, somebody in the Texas SeaWorld, right. Or it could be one of their other parks, because they have like, I don't know what all they have, but I know they've got a couple parks that are for the Muppets. They've got a Muppet park somewhere.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
He's in charge of, he gets calls from all the parks. So he's higher up on the chain. So it's really cool because he can just flash his little corporate card that he has.
Ooh.
And I mean, he can bring a whole bus in. I don't know if he could bring a whole bus in, but
but let's put it this way. Yeah. You and your mom and dad and girlfriend, that's not a problem.
Yeah. Cause I remember when my daughter worked there, she was like a peon.
Right.
But she could get like a person at a discount in. But he can flash this card and, like I said, bring her whole family. Nice. And they were even going to go with another couple. So it'd have been, mom, dad, another couple. Cause I know you're not a country person, so this will go right over your head. But for those of you who enjoy a little country music now and again, Gabby Barrett last night at SeaWorld.
So that's why you went?
Yes.
Okay, cool. And you're right. I don't recognize that name at all. I mean, unless it was Garth Brooks or something, I probably wouldn't recognize that. There's a few I would know, but yeah. Okay. So Gabby Barrett, I'll look her up on YouTube or something.
And some people who weren't big country fans, but American Idol fans, they may, remember the name. I think she got 3rd place in her season, but she's had a few country hits.
Okay, cool. Okay.
And what's really funny, I didn't really realize this about her, but now I do, that I've seen her. Her lead guitar player and kind of her backup vocal was also on the same season she was. And they are now married and have 3 children together.
How interesting. How interesting is that? Well, good. What family business there? Kind of country music is the family business. So then they can travel around it.
She made sure she told some of the ladies in the front of the building that's my husband. He is mine. You can
hands
look,
off,
but don't touch.
Gotcha. Okay, good. Look, but don't touch.
Yeah,
well, that's fair. That's totally fair.
Yeah. They did a fabulous show, of course.
Good.
I think he was this is my opinion, and hope Gabby's not listening to the show today, but I think her husband is a much better guitarist than a vocalist. I mean, he sang, and he even sang, like they did a couple songs together.
Okay.
And he sang lead on a few, of those songs. I guess he's trying to get his name out there too. But Yeah, she's a much better singer than
Well,
Hubby. But Hubby can play a hell of a guitar, though. I am not going to knock his guitar playing at all because that boy can pick with the best of them.
Awesome. So it was a good show at SeaWorld.
And I liked it, too, because like they have the big amphitheater there at SeaWorld, which is outdoors. But during the summer months, they're doing their concerts at an indoor venue, which holds about, 2,500. I don't know how, but it's a pretty good sized venue.
Okay.
So we were in air conditioning, and we, like you said, you were playing pickleball and you were wet.
Oh boy.
Well, we were walking to the venue and we were wet, but not only from sweat, but from stuff coming from the sky.
Well, we did not have any rain yesterday, which I think was the first day in 2 weeks that it hasn't rained here in NCFL, as we say, North Central Florida, Gainesville. But yeah, okay. Well, good. So you dodged the rain and was inside for the concert. That's very good. I was outside sweating my you-know-what off.
Nice and clear when we came out, so that was good too.
Good.
But going to the concert.
Good.
Little rain.
Yesterday, as we record this, Sunday, was the first weekend of preseason of the NFL. So it was an exciting weekend all around for yours truly. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, won there for you can't, I mean, to even worry about stats or scores or whatever. I know in the first game of the preseason, it meaningless. But Tampa Bay won, Jacksonville won, Cleveland got beat by Green Bay. So yeah, okay, fine, whatever.
And for my friends in the Midwest, in the Indiana, Illinois area,
yes,
the Bears won. I saw some of my friends posting that.
Yes, I was watching. I put on a game. I got home from pickleball, got out of the shower, sat down on the couch, and I had it on the NFL Network, which is where I had left it off. And there was a game on the NFL Network. I'm like, oh, great, a game was on late at night. I could watch. And then I realized it was in Buffalo. That was because it was Chicago and Buffalo. And I'm like, oh, wait, the sun is out. We're in Buffalo. It's 10 o'clock at night where I'm sitting. Same time zone. All right, so it's on tape. Okay, fine. I'll watch anyway. Because when you're a football fan, you don't care. You watch. It's like they own you. Okay, I get it. That's fine.
Speaking of sports, I finally watched a little bit of the Olympics. I watched the final of the gold, and it was a game worth watching. The
basketball, the men's basketball. Yes. I guess if not for LeBron and your boy, it would have been a different outcome.
I almost wore my Warrior hat today just in celebration.
Steph Curry apparently had quite the game. So yeah.
I think, what did he get, 8 or 9 threes?
Right.
And then we got to see him do his little night
his little nappy time to sleep. Yes, I saw that picture. So good. Yes, thank you, American men. And the American ladies won as well by like 1
point. Yeah, that was a squeaker.
So honestly, did you watch? Now I'll come right out and say it. I watched almost 0 of the Olympics this year. I don't know why. It just didn't catch my attention. Not that it normally catches a lot of attention from me, but even less this year. So I don't know why.
I will tell you, I watched 15 minutes of the opening ceremonies. I got to, see the most controversial part of the opening.
Yeah, I did see some of that. Yeah.
And then I saw, because we were sitting at a bar underneath cover before they opened the doors to the concert yesterday.
Right.
And they had some TVs up above. So we got to see the closing, some of the, the sound wasn't even on.
Right.
So we were just watching pictures, and I looked up and I thought for a moment wrestling and Goldberg had returned to the WWE, because I looked up and this guy in this wild gold outfit, and I go, oh my God, look, it's Gold Dust.
Okay.
But it wasn't gold. It wasn't Gold Dust, and it wasn't the WWE. It was the closing ceremonies of the Olympics.
I turned it on as because the next summer games are in Los Angeles in 28, I guess. Yes, 28. Yep, 4 years. and they do this little handoff thing. They do this little thing like introduce the next city, and then they go to the next city for a little something. And they showed a band playing on the beach in LA, and the sound was, you couldn't hear it. It was so bad. I'm turning up my TV going, what the heck's going on? And it was like muffled and and I'm like, oops, we're having a little bit of technical troubles here. And it's like not the best look for you, Los Angeles, showbiz capital of the world. So anyway, that's what I saw. So
yeah, like I said, really the Olympics I saw, and I didn't even see the whole half. I saw like pretty much the last quarter.
Right.
Of the men's final, and that was by accident, flipping around the television going, whoa, this
oh,
is
there it is. Yeah.
So
I'll probably, it's probably already on YouTube. I'll probably watch it there later today. Yeah. So there you go. So there's our TV viewing experience for the weekend. Great.
Now with football coming back,
yay.
Have you re-upped your YouTube TV yet?
Hilarious that you would ask that. And I'll tell you why, because I was texting with a friend of mine out west, and he was saying, oh, I'm going to put on the Cowboys game because the Cowboys are playing, you know, out in LA or something like that. And I'm like, oh yeah, that reminds me, I've had my YouTube TV on summer break for 3 months. I'm just going to let it, because it was an automatic pause. I think it re-upped or whatever, and it was automatically going to come back. And literally 5 minutes later, I looked down at my TV or at my phone, and there was an email from YouTube TV saying, hey, welcome back. And I'm like, wow, that's good. They knew I was thinking of them. Oh, wait, everybody's listening to me. Everything in this house listens to me. Oh, well. So yes. So YouTube TV is back, and just in time for football season. Perfect timing.
I was inches away.
Inches.
You know, I use Hulu Live for my television.
Right.
And I do like that they have, you know, the double screens that you've told me about where you can kind of watch 2 games at once.
Right.
On YouTube, because Hulu doesn't have that.
Right. They do the split screen thing. Yes.
Yeah, they don't do that. And so I was really thinking, but I'm looking at the 2 different television, because see, I'm married in this household.
Yes.
And making my wife happy happens to be an important goal of mine, because really? I want to live successfully and not find myself dead some morning because some pillow's been put over my face.
Yes.
So I noticed Hulu Live had not only the Hallmark channel, but also the other channel that plays all the love movies and everything. It's a GA. It used to be Great American Country. Now it's called, I don't know. It's Great American Drama. I don't know, but they show the love. Great American now shows
love stories, all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So they don't have that on YouTube TV.
Oh, they don't.
So I thought, I go, you know, I better not. Because as soon as I do, the wife goes, well, where's Great American?
Right.
Go, well, I went to, so I figured, you know what? I'm going back to where I know that I can faithfully watch one of
Hulu
her
Live.
favorite channels.
Hulu Live. So if I may, what does that cost you? What is that?
Now listen to this though.
Okay.
I get Disney, because, you know, they're part of the Disney family.
Right.
I get ESPN Plus, because they're part of the Disney fam.
I had Disney Plus I had ESPN Plus for a while. I wasn't all that impressed. But anyway, go ahead.
The only thing that's good about it, like during football or basketball season and things like that, you can watch, like, okay, we came from Southwest Florida, the home of Gulf Coast, from Florida Gulf Coast University.
Yes.
You can actually catch their games a lot of times on ESPN.
On ESPN Plus.
Where you can't
they play the smaller schools that don't have the big major contracts. Yes.
Right. So you can catch their games on. So I would every once in a while watch a basketball game or something.
Gotcha. So you got the whole package.
So I got the whole, and it's $74.99 a month. And that's, live TV, you got the DVR, whatever it is, and you got the other three ESPN and Disney,
right.
$74.99.
Which I think is exactly the same as YouTube TV, and it has the DVR, which I never use, but it doesn't have Disney. That's interesting. I might have to look that up, because honestly, if I'm honest with myself, the only thing I really need out of it, and we talked about this a few weeks ago right here on this program about maybe ESPN pairing up with some of the other sports networks and coming up with like a sports package only.
That would be beautiful.
That would be I would be customer number one for that. All right, if you're listening ESPN, if you're listening Fox Sports or TNT Sports, if you're listening, I'm signing up for that on day one, because that's really the only thing I watch on YouTube TV is the live sports. And, come football season, I want to have ESPN, and I want to, now I also have Amazon Prime, so I get the Thursday night games on Amazon. So I'm covered there. I'm covered with that. So again, come up with a live sports cable package, charge less than $75 a month. I am customer number one. There you go. Just putting it out there, boys. Putting it out there.
So there it is. Now, the only thing I don't like about Hulu Live.
Yes.
And that's why I kind of wanted to go with,
YouTube
TV. They don't have the NBA channel. They have the NFL channel, but not the NBA channel.
Oh, right. And YouTube does have that. Yes. So,
that's the only thing that they had that I wanted. And the only thing the other channel had that I wanted was, the YouTube, love stuff. Or
NBA TV. Could you, I'm sure, and I haven't seen it. What's that?
Yeah, there's an app that I can pick up.
NBA app. Yeah.
They have an app. And then also you can pay a little bit extra, and you can pay a lot extra, not a lot, but I mean a good chunk extra, and get all the games. Or you can say, like, I like the Warriors, and you would you'd get all the Warriors games for the season.
Like a season pass, like an NFL Sunday ticket kind of a thing. Yeah.
Yeah. But the only thing with the Warriors pass that you get just to watch their games, most of those games don't even start till 10:30 at night, our time here in Florida. So
of course,
I'm an old man. I mean, I like my basketball, but I love my sleep too. Because, it gets 9 o'clock around here. It's like, oh my God, is it time to go to bed yet? I think it's time to go to bed.
I'm really, really, I'm not going to say struggling with that, but I think if I were to make a New Year's resolution in August or whatever, that getting to bed earlier for me is becoming so obvious that I need to do it, because I'm like 1-2 o'clock in the morning, I'm still up, playing a game on my iPad and watching something on YouTube, on the regular YouTube, whatever, because I got the YouTube Premium and I can watch it on my TV commercial free. And I'm like, oh my God, it's 1:30 in the morning. I better, and then I got to brush my teeth and, get ready for bed. And it's 2 o'clock before lights out. And I'm like, no wonder you're sleeping until 10, 11 o'clock every morning. And I feel like I'm wasting a lot of the day. Let's put it that way. Whatever. I'm an old guy. I'm not going to work or anything like that. But still, when I'm getting up and it's, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, I'm like, you could have been a little more productive today. Just a little there, old man. So anyway, that's my story. I'm sticking to it.
And I can't believe it seems like only a couple of years ago and days ago that, I was doing comedy, and, those gigs wouldn't usually, you'd sit there and talk to the comedian. So you wouldn't even leave the club till midnight or after. And then a lot of times, when I even lived in Fort Myers, or even when I was here in Central Florida, I would be in another part of the state, or even, maybe even Georgia or Alabama. And a lot of times, especially in my younger days, I'd be playing, up in Central Georgia, living in Fort Myers, and I would leave after the Saturday night show, and start driving home just so I would get back at a decent time before, we had to go back to work at, 5 a.m. on a Monday morning.
5 a.m.
Because I always seem to sleep better in my own bed.
So in other words, the sleep thing it's been a thing for a long time, for me, for you, and the funny thing, I remember, and of course, we had a few jobs together and separately after the Oldies 95 thing, but I remember when I finally kind of retired from the radio business, and I don't remember where that was or when, but I remember saying, I am never getting up with an alarm clock ever again, ever. I'm giving myself that. And so the pendulum absolutely swung from gets up at 4 o'clock every morning like clockwork to gets up whenever the hell he wants at 10 or 11 a.m. And I'm like, oh my God. So anyway, I don't know, hats off to all you folks out there still getting up at a regular time early or whatever, because I know that's the vast majority of people, working people, and we love you. Good, hats off to you. Good job.
I don't know how I would do it. I don't know how I would leave a comedy club. Let's just say, even I'm going to make it easy. Jacksonville. That's about the furthest really I would do it.
Right, Jacksonville.
But I would go like from Jacksonville all the way back to Fort Myers after getting out of a comedy.
It's got to be a 5-hour drive.
Yeah, 4.5, 5 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, depending on traffic. Hell, it's the middle of the night. There is not a lot of traffic.
That many people out at that time.
Yeah.
So but now I swear, okay, we go to Gary Barrett last night. It's like, 10, we're leaving there about 9 o'clock, leaving the park about 9 o'clock. And some people are saying, let's go grab a bite. Let's go to, here, let's go to Denny's. Let's
sure.
After a comedy show. Oh yeah, let's do that. I still got to drive home, but yeah, let's all meet up and then I'll start from there.
Sure.
Now it's like, I'm the one driving going, no, let's just go home. I'm tired. I don't want to stop.
Thanks, Grandpa. Thanks, Grandpa. Oh, that's so cute. He needs his beauty sleep, as they say. Yes, yep. I totally get it. I do. I totally get it. Now, I'm not out. There's nothing to do in this town at midnight. They roll up the sidewalks, but still, I'm home. I'm in front of the TV, and if there's a late game or something on or whatever that catches my interest, I'm going to be there at 1 o'clock in the morning going, oh, it's way too late. I should have been in bed hours ago. I never am. Never. So.
And I don't know what it is, but it seems like the last week too, I've become that other guy, and I don't like it. I don't like this guy that I have become. I'm like the guy now because Tom Drake, a good friend of mine.
Yeah, we know Tom.
And he's a little older than I am. Not much, but a little older.
Right.
He's that guy that like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, wide awake.
Really?
He can go to bed at midnight. He can go to bed at 10 o'clock at night. He can go to bed at 9 o'clock at night. He can go to bed at 1 o'clock. No matter what time he goes to bed, it seems like 4 or 5 o'clock. He's awake, wide awake, can't go back to sleep.
Wait a minute, old man. How do you know this? I mean, obviously he must tell you because you're not awake at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning.
I'm not awake. No,
I'm not awake at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. So he just tells you he's up and about.
Well, I'll give him a little promo here.
Okay, Tom Drake.
He does the Tom Drake and the daily travel, cruise and travel news.
Yes.
Which also appears on the podcast Playground.
Another fine podcast.
And, he tells me, he starts prepping. He gets up like, 4 o'clock. And I go, what are you? Because my body just gets me up. I can't sleep. Now, I'm not going to say it's 4 o'clock, but around 6 o'clock lately, I've been like the last few, maybe month.
Right.
I'm waking up and I just can't go back to sleep. I don't like this. I like when I sleep till 10 o'clock and I'm fine.
Right. And it hasn't happened in the past few days, but it seems like for a lot of June and July or whatever, it's just, I've been awake and I'll ask, you know who, Alexa, I'll ask what time it is because I don't open my eyes. I've got a little sleep mask thing, that I wear. I'm so cute. But she'll say, it's always within 15 minutes, one way or the other, of 7:30 a.m. So, 7:15, 7:20, 7:40, whatever. And I'm like, wow. And I'm awake. And I'm thinking to myself, I could get up now, but nah. Nah.
See, I used to be the same way. I'd wake up. Oh, I can wake up now, but
I could wake up now.
Let me roll
sure,
over.
I could get out of bed. Sure.
Go back to sleep.
So perhaps my body is trying to tell me something, and perhaps no promises. I might listen to it and see how that goes. Because I have this feeling that 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon comes around and it's going to be a hard nap. It's going to be a big nap time for sure.
Now, see, my wife may differ because she goes, you fall asleep in front of the TV.
Yeah, I can't do that.
I don't
my
nap.
father was great at that. I can't fall asleep in front of the TV.
I do not nap. If I nap, let's say it's, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I go, oh, I feel a little tired. I think I'm going to nap.
Right.
I take that little hour nap, wake up refreshed.
Yep.
But when I go lay down like 10, 11, 12, I'm wide awake till 4 o'clock in the morning. I don't know why. You get 1 hour sleep, you should be like, okay,
right.
I'll go to bed an hour later. I'll be fine. But no, my body will not let me go back to sleep to save my soul.
And just to put a bow on, just to finish that nap story, I can't do that, quote, short of a nap. An hour will not do it for me because my body takes a half an hour to fall asleep. And then I will nap for 2 hours. And then exactly like you said, come midnight when I'm trying to actually go to bed, your body is like, oh no, it's party time. So I get it. I totally get it. So anyway, long story short, I think the next time, I'm not making any promises. Again, no promises. But the next time my body wakes me up at 7:30 in the morning, I'm going to try, as Master Yoda would say, do or do not. There is no try. I might try getting up at 7:30. See how that works. Yeah, you're laughing hilariously. Laugh it up, old man. Laugh it up. I know it is. It really is. I guess I would have to have, if I had something to do. So like Monday morning, I have to get up, BJ and Bill, the podcast, we record the podcast. Tuesday morning, I have to get up. Bill and Vicky do the podcast. I have to wake up and record the podcast, but that's it. Monday and Tuesday, that's it. Those are the only days I have something going on scheduled in the morning every day every Monday, every Tuesday. And after that, it's like, oh no, we're just going to snooze until we feel like getting up.
Of course, maybe I'm waking up.
That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
Now, maybe, though, I've been waking up early for the past, let's say 3 weeks, month. And maybe I'm still doing it because thoughts of gingerbread and batteries have been running through my mind for the past month. And I think that may be keeping me awake at night and waking up early, and then my brain all of a sudden turns on again thinking, batteries and sugar plums and everything nice. And that's all I'm saying till after the break.
I know. It's awesome. I have a huge smile on my face. All right, everybody, whatever you're dreaming of, whatever you're doing for you, no naps now. We're coming back in just a few seconds, and you are going to hear the story of the week. Absolutely. So stand by for that. We will be right back. Welcome back. I'm Bill Stevens. That's BJ Odom. This is BJ and Bill, the podcast. Feel free to leave us that 5-star review wherever you get your favorite podcast, wherever you do your podding, whether that's Apple Podcast, Spotify, YouTube, iHeartRadio. We're on all of them. Unbelievable. And you can find us on Facebook, of course, at BJ and Bill, the podcast. Leave your pictures, your comments, your memes, whatever it is you want. We would really, really appreciate it.
I'd like to get a shout out. We don't do that very often on this program.
Right.
But we have a new fan and a new person listening to the podcast. I hope he will continue every week. I've talked to him already this morning.
Okay.
He says he's been enjoying the podcast. So I want to say a big shout out to Barry Burks.
Okay.
From Hyundai of Central Florida.
From a Hyundai of Central Florida. He sells cars, does he? Or he's at the dealership there.
He sells it's not his dealership. He's just
He's
just one of the salespeople. But I had an opportunity to meet him last week. Well, I met him about 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Oh,
but we got even closer at the end of last week. So I promised him, because he's now listening to the podcast. So Barry Burks, just want to have a shout out to you. And thanks for all your hard work, and hope you enjoy the cash you may have made last week because of some guy with a podcast who that's probably the reason why he says he likes this podcast so much.
Of course.
But he said we were very entertaining this morning.
So, BJ, why is it that a man who sells new Hyundais at a dealership near you is all of a sudden a fan?
Maybe because I'm driving the latest, greatest Ioniq 5 Disney Edition classic Hyundai.
He pulled the trigger on it, ladies and gentlemen. We've only been talking about this for like 2 weeks now, 3 weeks now, that BJ Odom has been enamored, has been bowled over by the Hyundai Ioniq 5, which fully electric,
yes,
super cool car. Like I said, a friend of mine in Sarasota owns one, and I've driven it many a time. Wonderful car.
I cannot believe the geek that I know named Bill Stevens, who is an iPhone guy, who was a tech guy, who was a computer guy. I cannot believe, if you have driven a lady friend's Ioniq 5, you are not an owner of an Ioniq 5, because you know what? You could be doing videos about that, and I would be watching, because I know how to put my hands on the steering wheel. I know how to push the gas. I know how to but all the other little bells and whistles and computer gizmos.
You already blew it. You're not putting your foot on the gas. There's no gas.
Yes, there is.
The accelerator.
Oh, the accelerator.
Yeah, you can call it whatever you want. That's fine. I was just giving you a hard time. But you're right. They are super cool, super wonderful. It's just not, I'm not sure the electric thing is for me. Not yet. Because here for starters, I'm in an apartment. Okay. So, now there is a Tesla around the corner from me, and some of the apartments where I live, you can pay extra and get a garage. And he obviously has done that, and you can see the cable snake out from underneath the garage every once in a while to charge up his Tesla. It's just not practical for me at the moment. So anyway, I get it. I do. So anyway, the story's not about me. Tell us more about your brand new Ioniq 5 Disney Edition, BJ Odom. How cool is that?
And I wouldn't have gotten the Disney Edition myself.
Of course not.
But again, kind of like the the TV cable, or whatever you want to call the TV service.
Yes.
If the wife ain't happy, then you might as well say, I'm not happy either.
Right.
And the only way I could really get her to even smile or consider, we should have never saw that car. They must have saw her coming a mile away.
Was she wearing her Disney ears or t-shirt at the time?
She might as well been. But okay, we look at it, and she says, if you're going to get an electric car, you're getting that one or none of them.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I get it. Yeah. So the Disney edition which is, to me, what a great partnership. What a great idea. I mean, somebody in the marketing world you score points for that one. I'm not sure what the connection is.
Well, it's the 100th year for Disney, so it's the 100th year anniversary.
Right. But
edition.
What's that got to do with a Hyundai Ioniq 5? I don't know. But
I don't know either.
I don't either. Oh, it's the 100th year of Disney, which is why it's the platinum edition. That's 100, yes. Right? Yeah. Okay. So that makes sense. So yeah. So what goodies? I mean, I've seen some pictures and it has like the Disney logo stamped into the seat backs and stuff like that. What other Disney connections is there with this car?
Along the sides, there's like the door sides or whatever. You got little Mickey Mouse emblems that kind of like make a pattern all the way across
on the inside.
And I know on the back of the seats, and every once in a while you'll see one here, over there. The wheels, which I don't see it, but the wife has seen it immediately.
Right.
Like what they call the hidden Mickey, which the wheels
mouse
have
ears,
hidden Mickeys.
Mouse ears on the wheel covers. Yes.
Yeah, it's like so, but yeah. So that's okay. That's one aspect of the car.
Okay.
But you got paddles like for brake. It is like I said, this is a car made for you, Bill Stevens.
It kind of is. It kind of is.
This is like every geek's, like, I would think, I don't know. It would be like, I don't know what it would be. Christmas every day behind the wheel if you were a geek.
Kind of.
And when you want to do something, I mean, you got all these presets. And I know once I get to know everything, it'll be a whole lot easier.
Sure.
But we're driving the other day and, it's got these seats that actually have air blowing up your butt, and cools you off, or if it's in the summertime, which I mean, the winter time,
cool you, warm you. Yeah.
It'll warm you, but I don't know when I'm going to be using. Well, I don't know though. I say sometimes in Central Florida, it gets a little cool in the wintertime.
Right.
But, like all of a sudden my little hiney is like, damn, I think I'm freezing my hiney off. So I can't change it driving down the road. So I'm having my wife, I go, figure out how you can turn this these cool seats down, because I'm freezing over here.
Now, I will say my friend's is not the fancy one like yours. So hers has heated seats, but not cooled. So you're one step up on that. But you're right. That is one of the fancy, cool things. And I know that the dashboard, the instrument panel on it looks like something out of Star Trek. It's got all kinds of like little flashing lights and indicators and stuff that show when you're charging or recharging or the brake regener, all that. I know, I've seen it. It's pretty awesome. It is.
But see that all this brake regenerating and stuff, that's where, you actually can get juice to go back into your battery as you're driving.
Yeah.
And I know the paddles, you can be in different modes to give you more juice back into your battery.
Regenerating, yes.
I have not a clue how to use any of that stuff. I've just got it in the simplest mode. I still am regenerating a little bit, probably not nearly what I could if I knew what I was doing with those paddles. Right. But even the guy who I bought it off of said, I wouldn't even touch those paddles for a while until you really get the feel of it and you get to know the car.
Right. Good point. Good point.
And right now it's like, it's like the first, even though I've had it for a few days, it's still like the first date. I don't even know when to put my arm around her and when to kiss her, I haven't even figured that out yet.
So, but anyway, tell us about how do you love it? How do you love it?
I love driving it. I love it. Now, like you said, and I know that your lady friend has one of the chargers, the second level.
Level 2 charger. Yeah, level 2.
It comes with a level 1. Like we drove around.
Which basically is just a big, long extension cord.
Yeah, basically, yes.
Yeah.
And it took like 14 hours to get it back to 80%. And of course, last night, I said we went to Disney, which really, I mean, it's not that far from me. Not Disney, but SeaWorld, which is not that far from me, but it's still like an hour drive there, an hour drive back. Plus we took, the daughter home and dropped her off, which was a little, if we were coming straight home, we could have saved a few miles, but went and picked her up. dropped her back off.
Right.
And so I said, oh, let me plug it in again tonight and see how. It was like 19 hours to get it back to an 80% battery. And I know if I had one of the level
two,
if I had one of the level 2s, I could probably do that in like 5 hours.
Not even. Well, I mean, I don't know that. I don't know how long that actually takes. I'm pretty sure it's maybe 5 hours for whatever.
It wouldn't be 14, 19
See, that's
hours.
going to be a thing, because now you have to think about it. Now you have to think, okay, did I plug the car in? Is it charged? Because I have to go somewhere or be somewhere. Now I know for a fact, well, you tell me, that when you bought the car, it gave you like a year or two of free charging at the little charge up places around town. But, and I know for a fact, because I've been there, there's one at the Millennium Mall, Centennial, whatever.
Millennium, I think it is.
Millennium Mall. There's one at the Millennium Mall in Orlando. I've been to that charging station. As you come down I-75 to visit your son in Fort Myers, there you get off at Bruce B. Downs, just north of Tampa. There's a gigantic one on Bruce B. Downs. Again, I've been there. If you ever come up to visit me here in Gainesville, there's one about 5 miles away in the Target parking lot right off of I-75. So you believe me, your part of your driving experience now is going to be aware of where the charging stations are. That's just the way it is.
Now, of course, we have the free charging, and you can get the quick charge.
Yes.
Which is less than 20 minutes.
Yes, it is.
So that's a good thing. 20 minutes, you could stop and get yourself a hamburger or something, sit there and enjoy that. And because I don't like to drive and eat anyway.
Exactly.
And then be on my way. Now, the free ones, that's Electrify America. That's the only place where I can get it for free.
Correct.
But now,
those ones, by the way, those ones that I just mentioned, those are all Electrify America ones.
So and there's one at the Target on Daniels in 41 also in Fort Myers. I've already checked that out
Of course you have.
When I go visit the son.
Yes.
But I'm looking, I go, man, these things aren't very sporadic. But then I got another app that shows you more charging places that aren't, because they're not all Electrify America.
Right.
There's like probably 20 or 30 different companies.
Right.
That do this. And so when you go on that app, they're like all over the place. Like I can usually, because there's a little button on there, maybe you've probably seen it with your lady friend, where you push it, like, let's say I'm somewhere and I've got like 20% battery, and I go, okay, where can I charge? And I hit it.
Right.
And you get a whole string of them popping up. Now they're not the free ones.
Yeah, in the car itself. The car the car itself will show you the charging places. Yeah.
And then you just push which one you want to go to, and it'll give you directions and take you right there.
Now, I hadn't, when my friend bought hers, and maybe they've changed it, so I'm curious if your guy told you differently. Can you, or are they working on being able to charge it up? Because Tesla is a whole different critter. Can you use a Tesla charging station?
Supposedly you can, but you have to get a different
adapter.
You have to pay for it, and you got to have an adapter.
And
that's $50 for the adapter.
Oh, for the one-time part. Okay, cool. Because when my friend got hers, they were like, well, we're working on this deal with Tesla to be allowed to, like you said, use the adapter and the whole thing. So, I don't know.
Well,
like I said, since she has the charger at home, that takes a lot of the headache out of it. And then, again, she knows, like you said, in the neighborhood there. And so, in fact, she just got, where she lives down in south of Venice now, there's a brand new Costco down there, and they put one in too, the Electrify America one. So she's smiling.
And they've got one at our Costco also.
Cool.
But now, let me tell you something else I've discovered.
Yes, sir.
Which has me a little nervous, although there are a few on the way. If I go to, let's say I go to Fort Myers from Orlando, and I go, I hate interstates. I like, when I go see my son, when I go to Fort Myers, I usually go down 27 to 17 to 75 and then down.
Right.
When you go through towns like Wauchula,
yeah,
Arcadia,
yeah,
after you get past Lakeland,
yeah,
they're far and few between. And they're not Electrify America either.
No, I'd be surprised there must be something along the way down there.
Yeah, there's a few in Wauchula because I've looked at the map that shows that shows everything.
Right.
So there's some in Wauchula, there's some in Arcadia.
Okay.
But
yeah, good luck. Now, here's another thing. Here's another thing my friend discovered because we were out. She came up here on her way to Jacksonville, and we went for a little drive around here, and we were over toward Cedar Key. And we were same thing. We're looking on the app to see where there's a charging one, and there was a little itty bitty town, and I don't even remember where it is. And we went by it, and it was like, okay, they have one charging plug, and it was out of order. Sorry. And it's like, if it's a gas station and the gas pumps are out of order, I go across the street. Okay, there's a Circle K on one corner. There's a whatever on the other corner. I get it. In any small town, there's like 4 or 5 gas stations on the same corner. When the electric charger is down, you are screwed. Sorry, yep. It just is. So again, that's what I'm saying. It's not, in my opinion, as somebody who drives around a fair amount and drives cross country a fair amount, it's just not ready for prime time yet for me. For a lot of, like for BJ Odom, who lives in Central Florida, where he's got a house with he could put the charger in and all. Perfect. Just not for me.
Yeah, because like I said, I should be able to get to Fort Myers without a problem.
Sure.
And then I get charged down there, and I should be able to get back without a problem.
Do you know the mileage to Fort Myers?
Like if I go through the middle of the state, but now I don't know if I want to go through the middle of the state.
Right.
But if I go through the middle of the state, it's like, well, here, let me pull my phone out.
That's all right.
I think it's like 179.
Right. And I was going to say
interstate.
from door to door, from my place in Gainesville to the lady friend who has the Ioniq in South Venice, it is within 500 feet of being 200 miles on the nose. 200 miles perfect. So yeah, you could do it. You'd get a little nervous. You'd get a little nervous in the last 20 minutes, but you could get there.
Okay, let's just say this. To get to my son's house right now from my house where I live, 130.7 miles.
No sweat. I wouldn't. Yeah, that would not. When it starts to get to 200 and there's a little stop and go traffic and I'm running the air conditioning in the summer, now I'm starting to think about it. And by the way, when these electric car companies tell you, oh, it's 275 miles range, it's 300 miles range. No, it is not.
Yeah, because you got your air conditioner on.
Air conditioner, stop and go traffic, all of that.
Now, though, when you stop, you're not really using energy.
That is, you are if you're running the air conditioner and the radio and your cooled seats.
Yeah. You're right there. But I mean,
right. So,
as far as powering
all of them, I don't know how they massage those numbers, but when they're like, oh, this, and I've seen it with Tesla, they're like 300 miles per charge. No, it is not in real life driving.
Well, another thing too that I have learned, and maybe, you can elaborate on this with having your lady friend who's owned one now for a few years. They kind of say, okay, get a supercharge if you want to, if you're going to go on a trip and, get your 100% battery.
Right.
But only do that sporadically.
Right.
Don't do it every day.
Right.
And also they tell you, that when you do charge at home, you should only go to 80%.
Yes, I've heard all that. And I don't know why. I guess it's the battery. It's the battery itself. It's the physics of the battery, or physics, chemistry, whatever. I'm not a battery guy. I don't know that. But you're right. I've heard that if you like 100% and down, 100% and down, 100%, that's not healthy for the battery, it kind of likes, like you said, the 80% is the sweet spot there.
Yeah.
You can go 85 or whatever. And I do know because again, I've experienced this with my friend, that when you plug it in at one of these Electrify America charging places, it goes to 80% at warp speeds, or, you know, as fast as it can. And then if you leave it plugged in, it slows down, and it kind of does that last 20% slowly. Like, are you sure you want to do this?
Now, here's what I want to ask you. When's the last time that you've been with your lady friend and she's done a quick charge?
What do you mean quick? You mean at one of these charging stations? I couldn't tell you that. I don't know. It's been a while.
I would love to. Well, maybe you can hook me up, not hook me up with her.
I'll put you in communication. Sure.
Because I think my wife would be upset if you hooked me up with her.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. But maybe, anyway, you Hyundai owner, you Ioniq 5 owners out there got to stay together. I know.
Because I would like to know for sure exactly when you, because I guess those fast chargers also, because you're using more power and you're using it quickly, it's more expensive than if you use like the level 2. There's a level 1, level 2, and level 3. Level 3 is a quick charge.
It's the fastest, right?
Yeah.
And by the way, just as a side note there, when you go to one of these Electrify Americas,
they got 2 plugs. Yeah.
They got, some of them are level 2 and some are level 3. That's correct. Yeah.
Right. So they say, you know, you might see 2 plugs, like, you know, if you go to a gas station, you see 2 hoses, one's for the, you know, one's for the diesel and one's for, you know, the regular gas or whatever.
Correct.
It's kind of the same here, but one's for the super power and one's for the lower power.
Correct.
So if you see 2 hoses, don't think, oh, I can pull up to the other side of it and use the other hose, because you can't. Once one of the hoses is taken off.
That's correct. That's correct.
That unit is taken.
Right.
So, but I'm just kind of curious what a quick charge from 10 to 80 cost.
Oh, I can answer that, because I seem to remember her telling me it's like less than $10.
Okay.
So, you know, like $8 or $9 for that charge. And again, she's been living off the free charging, you know, just like you have. She's been, you know, her time is probably coming to a close on that. She's probably had hers for almost 2 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's, when you charge, it's not much. It's absolutely positively less than gas. Now, it's more time. If you're in a hurry, forget it.
Yeah, if you're in a hurry.
And again, this is why you kind of have to have a little bit of thinking going on, that it's like, oh, tomorrow morning I have to drive to Tampa for like BJ Odom to, you know, go to his doctor's appointment in Tampa or whatever. I better make sure the car's charged up, you know.
Well, that's like my wife says, you know, because of Tampa. And, you know, I mean, usually I know when I have an appointment, but there have been those times that, like, okay, Susan, you need to get me to Tampa. So she says, we got to make sure that I've got enough to get there.
Yes.
Get back. Like,
yes,
all the time. So we're going to try to keep it charged at all times.
I don't know how much those level 2, they're not crazy expensive. The level 2 thing, you're probably going to want to put one of those in the garage. I'm just thinking.
I'm leaning that way. We had an electrician do some work here because she wanted some above lights and things like that.
Right.
So I told her, I said, we need to call him. Now, and there are also, which I don't know if they're better or worse, but there are also these level 1 and level 2 chargers that are combined. So you can plug it into like the 110, or you can plug it into like the dryer plug.
Right.
And, you know, it's like an adapter. You can either put it on either way. And so I might think about getting one of those and then seeing how much it's going to cost just to put a dryer plug in the garage.
And that's all it takes. I mean, that's all my friend had done, because literally her garage door opens into her laundry room. So it's like, okay, the power was right there. And the electrician ran it out to the garage, and the unit itself is like the size of a shoebox.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the size of a shoebox. And it's got, you know, the cord on it with the hanger, and you plug, and it's super smart. I mean, you've probably already seen that. You plug the car in, the car tells you, it's like, you know what it's doing. It talks to you. So
I'm charging. Charging.
Yeah.
I haven't been there when it was done charging, so I haven't heard it say I'm done. But obviously it probably does.
Right. And it's, again, I like the smartness of it, the intelligence of it. It does a lot of things on its own. But again, I can't I can't see grandma getting one of these, because it's like, what do you mean I have to find a place to charge it? What do you mean I have, it's like I can't go to the gas station and have the nice young man fill the car up for me.
Now,
it doesn't work that way.
Another thing my wife wanted me to do, told me to do.
I told you to.
So I did it.
Of course.
Which I think she's correct though. For, and it's $2,000 more, a little over $2,000.
$2,000.
You get the 100,000 mile, 10-year limited warranty.
Right.
But you can pay a couple grand more because, there's a lot of computer parts in these things. That's why I thought you should love them, man. They're like, they're all computerized.
It's all computers. Yeah.
But one little computer chip can, go out and then cost you, $2,000, $3,000 in repairs. So we got if anything goes wrong with anything at all, except for, tires and brakes, obviously.
Right.
They're going to fix it for 10 years, 100,000 miles. And our car, you got the Apple Care.
You got Apple Care on it.
Yeah, and our car that we have now, of course, we moved up here.
Right.
And in the beginning, we were doing a lot of back and forth because we would load our car,
right,
drive it up here for the weekend because my wife was still working.
Right.
And then, Sunday night, Sunday afternoon, drive back home.
Right.
I worked in Arcadia, for quite a while. I'd go to Fort Myers and,
right.
So, but we only have 80, almost 90,000 miles on our car now. And the one we have now is almost 5 years old.
Oh, wow.
Maybe 6 years old.
Driven only on Sundays by a little old DJ who, I get it. Yeah.
And I was doing comedy runs too. So
sure,
our mileage is half of what we used to do. Yeah.
Right. Right.
So I think,
so that extended warranty, probably a cool idea. I know my friends is having an issue now where it has an automatic sensor in it that tells you when one of the tires is low on air. And this little sensor has been telling her that one of the tires is low now for a couple of weeks, even though it's not. And so there you go. That's one of the computers that probably needs a new something somewhere. Yeah. So I get it. Extended warranty, probably a good idea.
Somehow I could go out and buy me an extended warranty for another 100,000 miles, 10 years.
I'd be
for you?
Camper. Yeah. For BJ Odom?
Yeah.
That's I think it's called Medicare. But yeah, I hear you. If you could get an extended warranty, I'd buy an extended warranty on myself. Absolutely. That sounds like a great idea. Put me up on the rack every couple of thousand miles, change the oil, blow up the tires, the whole thing. It'd be great.
Well, for those of you who follow me personally on Facebook.
Yes.
I just said I did a thing. I'll tell you in a few months if it's good or bad.
Oh.
And I didn't want to say because this world is so screwed up and so political driven.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even want to put on Facebook. Why not got me an electric car? Because it's so cool. Because I know that, because I have a lot of people, from my comedy career, my radio career, and my wife gets mad at it. But I just I don't care who you are. If you want to follow me, you can follow me.
Sure.
I don't give a rat's ass. But that's why I don't post anything political, because you got so many political screwballs out there.
Yes.
It'll just go berserk. And then I have other friends that are on the other side of the berserk, and they go berserk. And then here it is, my Facebook page, and I got 2 or 3 people that I somewhat know and some I don't know at all, and they're trying to kill each other. And I'm going, it's just a Facebook post.
Right.
So I'm not even telling anybody. I mean, if you don't listen to the podcast, I don't think you're ever going to know that I have an electric car unless you say, oh my God, he just drove by an electric car.
Really? So we're not going to see pictures or anything like that on Facebook?
I don't want to go through, like I said, I don't care what you think. I don't care what I think.
Right.
But don't argue on my Facebook page over your piddly shit. Oh, I said shit.
I love that. I love that attitude. I wish more people could do that. I do, but they don't. Everything is so damn serious now.
Yeah.
It's it's a joke, people. Get over it.
That's even I go on there because, I was doing my homework. So I said, oh, here's something about, charging or whatever.
Right.
So I would go on that page. And then if you wanted to read the comments, it was all people fighting at each other.
Really?
And it was people that was fighting at each other that didn't even own electric cars.
So really, you had people arguing on your page about
no, it wasn't
the merits.
my page. No. It was pages I was going to.
Oh, I see. On Facebook.
Like, let's say, level 2 charging at home.
Right.
So it was on a Facebook post.
Right.
Something about it. So I would go to it just to read about it, but then I would say, oh, let me look at the what people had to say about it. And then no one said anything at all about the particular product, like it was good or bad because they had tried it. Right. No, it was people saying how bad it was because what it was and how good it was. It's like, you're not telling me if this product's any good. You're just telling me what you think of electric,
right,
in general.
Right. In other words, it seems like, I'm just going to go out on a limb and say, it seems like nowadays people just look for excuses to argue.
Yeah.
And that's a whole nother show. And here we are at the end of this one. So I don't want to open another can of worms or can of whoop ass, as our old friend used to do. But so there you go. So huge congratulations, BJ Odom, for entering the 21st century on your electric wheels. We will be curious and interested to hear how the experience goes for you as you learn to love your new set of wheels.
Well, let me ask you this, and we'll do this in closing because I know we're getting close here.
Sure.
Your lady friend, she's owned one, as you said, almost 2 years.
Yes.
Where is she in the realm? Let's say she could do it all over, or she could change right now.
Right.
Where is she at, if I may ask?
Sure, you may. Because she and I have talked about it. She loves it, and is looking forward to getting her next one pretty soon.
I'm glad to hear that then.
Yeah. Because now they make the Ionic 5 and they make the 6 as well. And I don't like the looks of the 6. It's kind of swoopy looking. I mean, it's more of a sedan. It's more rounded. Whereas yours, the 5, is more of an SUV with the hatchback and all that. I like that look. I like that better. I don't know if she's, if she's married to the 5 or is looking at the 6 or whatever, but she loves the electric car. She loves the fact that it has, other than this one little niggly computer problem, it has been 0 problems. 0. She takes it home, she charges it up, and she's like you. She lives mostly in her little world of Southwest Florida and doesn't drive a whole heck of a lot out of town. And when she does, she knows where things are, basically, like the Tampa stop, the Orlando stop, the Gainesville stop, in case she needs it. So no, to answer your question, loves it, looking forward to her next. So there you go. There you go.
Good. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
Because now that I have done it, that's why I've been, a few nights laying here. Oh my God, am I like in 2 or 3 months? Am I going to go, what in the did I do?
Right. And I'll be really curious to hear in a couple of months what you think and feel about it. Because, I mean, you got to admit, and you and I have talked about this, the driving experience is amazing and fun and cool. Yeah.
And like I said, I think, and we don't really do those trips anymore. The only longest trip I really plan on taking probably is to go see my son.
Right.
And of course, Tampa General Hospital, which, is I think 58 miles, 59 miles from here.
You're good.
So what the only thing, if I was going, let's say I was going to go visit family in Indiana, or we enjoy the mountains, if I was going to go up to the Smoky Mountains.
Right.
I would probably pick up the phone and I would probably call Hertz and I'd say, hey, you got any gas cars I could rent for a couple of weeks? Yeah, I'm going to Indiana and I want to take a gas car.
Right. And I've thought of that. I've thought of that exact same thing, that here in Gainesville, if I had a way to plug it in, and I don't. Now I could go down to Target right around the corner and plug it in and charge it up, on my spare time or whatever. Like you said, get a burger, sit in the car, charge it up. I could do that because I literally have no way to charge it here at my apartment. All right. That's a little odd. If I had a way to charge it at home, even if, like you said, just the big extension cord, level 1, I would be much more interested in doing the electric thing. But I would do exactly the same as you. If I were driving cross country, I'm renting a gas car. Absolutely. Absolutely.
It was funny. And I know we got to go because we're running really short on time now. But I talked to my son, I gave him the news.
Right.
And he goes, oh, Dad, yeah, are you going to be able to make it here? And I said, well, you've got a gas generator. If I don't, I'll call you and you can bring your generator and we'll plug it in.
There you go. All right, everybody. That's going to do it for our electrically charged show today.
No political. I didn't do it for political reasons. I did it for strictly fun, enjoyable. I'm old. I just want to do it for fun.
You did it for all the right reasons, BJ Odom. So hats off to you. Congratulations. And we look forward to hearing your reports on your fun new Disney car as we go here. So, all right, everybody, that's going to do it. Whatever you are driving today, drive it safely. And we will see you again here, same bat time, same bat channel next week. But until then, it's just up to BJ Odom to say,
see ya!